With only a few rounds of Monster Energy Supercross left this season, Eli Tomac looks set to secure his second championship in 3 years. But for Tomac, he's always been known as a better rider outdoors than indoors. After all, he did win 3 straight titles from 2017 to 2019. There are a few guys to watch that could upset Tomac and steal that 4th championship away from the Colorado native. Ones to watch in outdoors is coming up right around the corner. Realistically, I think there are 3 guys in the 450 class that have a shot at taking the championship from the dominant Tomac. The first is his teammate, Dylan Ferrandis. This is probably the most obvious, as Fernandez is the reigning champ of the series, but an issue for Dylan will be the fact that he is coming off a wrist injury suffered in Detroit's round of Supercross, and the fact that his starts have been horrendous in 2022. It's not uncommon to see him in the bottom half of the pack out of the first turn, but last season, Ferrandis was able to grab a few hole shots towards the end of the season, which was something that we had not seen from the Frenchman, and it allowed him to grow his lead rather than come from behind. Ferrandis has shown the ability to come through the pack in motocross as riders tend to get more strung out, and it becomes a race of attrition without the constant jumps and obstacles that you'll see on a supercross track. Beating Tomac on equal equipment is going to be a tall task, but if anyone's going to do it, Ferrandis probably has the best shot. Number 2, Jason Anderson. While Anderson has not run many outdoor races due to injury the past few seasons, he did land multiple podiums in 2019, which was really the last time he ran a significant amount of races in a series. He only ran 1 race last season as his chain broke in practice, causing a massive crash that sidelined him for the entire season after round 1. While Anderson has not yet shown consistent speed outside, he has really gelled with his Kawasaki team and is learning how to win on a consistent basis the same way he did in 2018 Supercross when he won the championship. While it's unlikely he will catch Tomac for the Supercross championship, look for him to have a fire inside of him to catch Tomac now that the points will be reset for the new series. Also, the motocross championship is only 12 races, so were Tomac to have 1 or 2 poor finishes, maybe a bad start, maybe a lazy crash, the door can open up very quickly for guys like Anderson to steal the red plate. Finally, I think Chase Sexton is a bit of a dark horse. Sexton did grab a win last summer, but struggled with the same mistakes that we've seen him make this season. But like I said before, this season is much shorter than Supercross. If Chase can limit the horrendous finishes and just keep them manageable, kind of in that 5th to 7th range, he certainly has the pace to keep up with Tomac, and he might just surprise us. For the rest of the field, I don't see a serious title bid for Barcia, Stewart, or even Roczen if he's able to return. Barcia's pace is good, but it's not strong enough to win a championship. Malcolm hasn't raced outdoors since 2014, and Roczen's return is still not yet confirmed. While not in the full championship, Antonio Cairoli announced that he would run the first 2 races of the series. The 36-year-old has a decorated career of racing in Europe, highlighted by 7 MXGP World Championships and 178 wins across all the series, which is MX2 and MXGP. The Italian rider has been on KTM since 2010, but would they let him run the full schedule if he were to run well in the first few races? Well, the press release was vague, but this could certainly be a possibility. Will it happen? I'd say probably not. Yes, the European riders are usually faster on motocross tracks, but at age 36, I think keeping up with Eli Tomac for entire series will be a tough ask. In all reality, I think he'll run the first 2 races and call it quits, just to say that he's done it. But before we run out of time, let's take a quick look at the 250 class as well. Jett Lawrence will definitely be the favorite as he is the reigning champ of the class, but I really think there's a challenger to his throne this season. Hunter Lawrence has stood out to me lately. Last season, he did grab a 1-1 victory at Southwick, and he's only had 1 race in Supercross where he's finished off the podium. That was when he crashed out at A3 in the whoops, which were taking everybody out that night. While Jett is definitely the fastest on pace, we have seen an unbelievable amount of lazy crashes from him this year. Lawrence has proven to be a liability on the first lap of a race. Other than that, Christian Craig should be noted as a favorite, but it's not yet been confirmed if he'll run the 450 class or the 250 class. If you'll remember back to last year, Craig hopped on a 450 and finished 6th in points with many top 10 runs. Were he to run the 250s, I think the Lawrence brothers as well as Craig would be the ones fighting for wins, and the title would come down to those 3. Outside of them, I'm not totally sure who else is going to be able to compete for wins. The Pro Circuit riders have dealt with injuries all season. Fortner just came back from a collarbone injury, Shimoda had a massive crash at A3 and missed some time, McAdoo is recovering from a shoulder, Jet Reynolds is still out after his press day crash in Minneapolis, and we have not heard anything about Seth Hamaker, who was injured early in the Supercross season. For Star Racing, no word has been given on Colt Nichols or Justin Cooper, but even if they were to come back, winning a championship is a lofty expectation, having not raced in several months. Jeremy Martin and Levi Kitchen have not raced since before Daytona, and while they will be rested, I don't know how healthy they'll be or how fit they'll be able to get based on how their bodies have reacted to their injuries. But even if they're out there, championship winning pace looks unlikely. Rockstar Huskies' RJ Hampshire should be good for a win or two, but his overall pace is not as fast as the Lawrence brothers or even Christian Craig. The same can be said for his teammates Jalek Swoll and Styles Robertson. Although they've had good runs in Supercross, any outdoor wins would be monumental for their careers. Definitely not championship contenders at this point. The only other contender would be Gas's Michael Mosiman, but with one win this season, Mosiman has not shown the pace to consistently run up front, and he's not convincing enough for me to pick him as a championship favorite. With all these storylines, we're certainly in for a competitive outdoor season. Does Tomac's dominance carry over, or does Fernandez find that spark and repeat as champion? Does Christian Craig decide to race the 250s and contend for a championship, or go back up to 450s? We'll have to see when the riders line up on the gate at Fox Raceway on May 28th. Anyway, thank you all so much, and please let me know down in the comments who you've got winning these championships, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new around here, and if you enjoyed the video. I'm Tyler Deering with GDN Productions, and we will see y'all in the next video.